welcome back to our second episode where we are discussing Garden City. And today we'll be asking the question as, what are you good at? And on the flip side, what are you bad at?
So kind of funny with this topic. We've talked about this a little bit in class on Monday, but sometimes the best way to figure out what you're good at is maybe to ask another person who might know you. So, Ethan, what do you think I'm good at?
Oh, other than a lot of things. So, Caroline, I would say that, for one, I think you're very good at setting your mind to something and then accomplishing it. I think that takes a lot of rigor and grit that most people don't have. So I'd say that's definitely one skill you have. Two, I think you're very adaptable. Like you were telling me the other day when we were talking about Credit Karma and you had to learn like basically SQL just on your own. I think that takes a lot of adaptability. So that's another, I think that's something else that you're very good at. And for those of you who don't know Caroline, she is very involved on campus. Not only is she involved in our business fraternity, but she's also the president of her sorority.
I am. I've still got a little while to go, end of February, so hanging in there.
Yeah, but obviously that takes a lot of time management. But I think what makes Caroline is her ability to interact with anyone and everyone. She's very energetic.
Nice.
And I don't know if you want to talk more about this, but I remember when I first, we were in ESP 201, and I was like, man, I'm so glad this girl's in our group. Because, she just, has a plan and executes. Very, CEO-like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to get to CEO level one day. But, a little backstory. Ethan and I, that's how we met. It was second semester of my sophomore year, your freshman, right?
Yep.
We were in ESP 201, so it was the first, one of our first and only in-person classes at the time. So our group got really close because I think everyone was desperate for some people interaction too. And by the way, our group totally should have won that project. It's
Absolutely.
fine. I'm not salty. No, but to throw it right back at you, I think getting the chance to work with you in so many different areas from 201, we got to kind of cross paths during Moochie, now EKSI. I would say, Ethan, some things you're great at are creative problem solving. You really think outside the box and to push the envelope on basically everything that we're doing, which, especially from my perspective as someone who likes to have a plan and execute, having you in the group was awesome because you just would push that further. But I think that's great and definitely is makes you a really awesome entrepreneurship student, thinking outside the box. And on top of that, too, you're a massive achiever. That's something that I would describe you as. I think you're really good at just putting forth your best work all the time. And I think that's, really hard to do, to be consistency. I would say, too, you're definitely always doing things. I always see you active and about, and you've got plans to go to the next. And I just think you're really good at, spending time with other people, and you take feedback really well. That's something you're good at, and you ask for it too. I know there's lots of times where we've been sitting at the farmer table doing homework, and you're like, "Hey, Caroline, can you look at this for me? Or what do you think about this? Hey, I'm gonna change my major actually. What do you think about that?" So I think you do a good job at seeking, opinions and thoughts from other people, and you take that into account. And I think you also do a really good job at doing the same for other people, giving thoughtful responses, and you care about people clearly. So I think I'd say you're a people person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But so just as important as it is finding what we're good at, it's equivalently important as finding what you're bad at. So Caroline, what are some things you're bad at?
Lots of things. You kind of mentioned this earlier, but as a leader on so many different things, there's definitely times where I just feel like I'm not executing or I'm not doing a good job. But I think one story that comes to mind about something that I'm really bad at. I originally came into Miami. You made me think of this in the last episode. I originally came in as a pre-med code major when I was a freshman with business undecided. I think my goal was I had this big vision. I wanted to be a doctor, and I was hoping to go to med school, and I wanted to get that paid for by the United States. I was going to go serve a couple years outside of med school. My main goal was I just really wanted to help people, and I felt like that was going to be fulfilling and where God was calling me, which I found it to be super untrue. As I started to take some of those chemistry and biology classes, I was really, really, really bad at that area of like academics, I guess. But on top of that too, like I think why I was so bad, or like maybe there's some like other things that I'm bad at within that. I think it's just like the details or like the concentration on the one thing, or maybe it's just like the sitting down and studying and memorizing. Like that's just not how I think. Like I'm broad. I like to like think outside the box, kind of like you. And I think the heart of all that was I just was wanting to go into a career path where I could like help people and serve others. Like, and I think that's funny. And I'm now reflecting. I feel like I'm like coming to a realization, like as we've been talking about this, but maybe that's like at the heart of my calling. And I had an inkling of that coming to Miami. It was just that like I wanted to serve and help people and follow a path where like I was feeling fulfilled and sharing myself with others. I think that's why I'm a leader and stuff. But I don't know. What do you think you're bad at, Ethan?
Well, before I get into that, the story you shared about, I guess, your calling to help people reminded me of a story of a man who wanted a family, more specifically wanted a lot of kids. And what this man, he later became a priest, and he came to this realization of he did end up having a lot of children, but those children weren't like his biological children. There was his congregation, so that was super cool.
I love that.
Yeah, but one of the things I'm bad at is complacency. I'm not good at staying out like one place for a certain period of time. As you can probably guess, since I've changed my major, I've never had the same job. Don't really know like what that entails. But I kind of have a similar calling to you where I think I want to help people. And right now I'm hoping to go into consultancy, which is kind of sounds nice just because you kind of work with a whole variety of people and industries. So it's very not complacent. But I don't know what my calling is yet. But that's something I look forward to finding.
I love that. And I think too, something to kind of highlight with what you said, like complacency or like that being one of your weaknesses or what you're bad at may not necessarily be a bad thing. Maybe like God knows that you're active and like to go from one thing to the next. And so that maybe he knows that that's going to be your path to really figuring out your true calling is you're going to hop from job to job, step to step, and hopefully eventually land where he wants you. But maybe that's going to be part of your journey. I don't know.
I'd say another thing too I'm bad at is especially like when it comes to just like faith, and I'd probably say I'm not good at listening. For me, like praying is always super hard just because like I don't want to just like sit and listen. I would rather just do. So that's probably something else I'm pretty bad at.
I relate to that. I think like for me, my friends tell me this all the time too. Like I cannot sit still. There are times where like I just come and I sit down in the apartment after like a really long day. Like yesterday, I think I got up at 6:30 in the morning and I got home at 8:00 at night. I had all 3 meals packed in my backpack for the day when I left, and it was a really long day. And I came home, and I think any normal person would like lay down and be like, "I'm done." Nope. Got dressed, got back up, went to go meet my friends, and everyone's like, "Caroline, you got to learn how to just sit and be." Yeah. So I feel that.
But since we're running short on time, I'm going to share this quote from Garden City, and it says, "It's not failure if you fail at doing something you're not supposed to do. It's success. Because with each success and with each so-called failure, you're getting a clearer sense of your calling." And that is very true, especially as college students. It's important to branch out and kind of try those new experiences just to see what you're good at and what you're bad at. So that's all for episode 2, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 3.